And on average, with positive customer experience, you will receive 5.7 times the valuation of your company when you go to sell than if you do not have a positive customer experience. So how do we do this? The very first step is to identify every touch point, every touch that the customer has with your company. Hallo Stuttgart. Lasst uns loslegen. I want to share with you about customer experience today, and so the title of the presentation is the Customer Experience Elevator, and I think it's going to be fun, and you'll have a lot of really good takeaways. Before we start, just a little about me. If you would like to connect to ask questions about the presentation or have the slides or anything like that, you can take your phone out and point it here, and it will connect you automatically with LinkedIn. You can push the button, and we will be connected on LinkedIn. A little bit about me. I have built, founded, owned, sold 24 different businesses over the last several years. They range from a minimum of about $3 million a year, 3 million euros, excuse me, to 2.7 billion euro. And so I have a lot of experience with this across many industries. So digital marketer, we teach training, e-learning, and Traffic Conversion Summit, an event similar to this, Praxio, software as a service, Big Block Realty, an actual real estate brokerage, Scribe, which is a publishing company with over 1,000 books published to date, Credit Suite for lending and finance, and War Room are a few of these companies, and over the last 12 months have acquired several companies, 3, and sold 3 as well. And there's been some good takeaways from this, a lot around CX. So what is CX? CX is your customer experience. And a lot of people think that the customer experience starts when someone purchases your product, but the customer experience actually starts way sooner. If you look at Think with Google, this is a journey of Stacy, who is purchasing an automobile, and she has 900 digital touch points over 3 months in making her decision to purchase the car. And during that time, 139 Google searches, 14 YouTube videos watched, 89 photo images looked at, 69 different interactions with auto dealers, and 186 manufacturer interactions. All to get down to 14 brands, and then whittle down to 6 to consider and decide between 2, obviously Mercedes and Porsche. So, the increasing importance of soft assets. Soft assets are assets that do not show up on a balance sheet. Soft assets are things like this customer experience that we'll speak of today, brand, position, the position in the market, culture, what is it like at the company, competitive advantage, what is different about your company from all others that causes people to work with you, and who are the people. And these are the reasons that in Germany, the #1 brand currently, according to Brands 50, is SAP, and Deutsche Telekom, and Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and DHL. All very, very significantly good customer experiences. And the customer experience is very distinguishing. For example, if you are flying on Lufthansa, it is a significantly better experience than flying on Eurowings. Sorry for anyone who works for Eurowings who's here. But it's a big difference. So, let's talk about the statistics around customer experience. A good customer experience score, a positive, strong customer experience, can lead to 1.3 to 2.4 times the increase in revenue per customer than if you do not have a positive experience. From acquisition, your CAC, or cost of acquisition, can be reduced from 3 to 30 times. Prices. People will pay up to 18% more for a good, positive customer experience, and 64% of customers value customer experience over price. They value customer experience more than what the product costs, and therefore they're willing to pay significantly more for it. For retention, if you have monthly recurring revenue or continuity products, and I'm a big fan of this because if you have monthly recurring revenue, then companies that are about to acquire your company will typically pay about 5 to 8 times more for your company than if you have only one-time sales. So retention is a big deal. 40% of the people that leave a continuity program leave because of a poor customer experience. 40%. And if you have a positive customer experience, people will typically stay 2.7 times longer, meaning 2.7 times. So if you have someone who stays a year, they'll stay 2.7 years. It's a dramatic increase in revenue. And then referrals. If you have a positive customer experience, people will tell 9 other people. If they have a negative customer experience, they will typically tell 16 other people. So this is easy to get lost in, but let's look at how this actually affects your profitability. Let's say that you spend 100,000 euro on acquisition, on customer acquisition, every month. If you're able to save 67% because you have positive customer experience, your increased savings is 67,000 euro per month, per 100,000. Sales of 100,000 euro. You can increase your prices 18%. That means per 100,000 euro, 118,000 euro per month, or an extra margin of 18,000 euro. For retention, we call churn, so when people leave your continuity program, they churn out. If you have 48,000 euro churn per month, it would be reduced by 2.7 times to 17,800 euro. You would retain an additional 30,000 euro per month that you would not if you didn't have a good customer experience. And last but not least, referral. If you have referrals of 20,000 euro per month now, 9 times 180,000 with positive experience, or a referral lifetime customer value of 160,000 euro. That adds up to about 275,000 euro per month per 100,000 euro of revenue that you have now. This absolutely will impact your business. And it has the benefit of not being a hack. It's not a trick. It is a strategy that will last and last. It's not something that you'll learn one time and then everyone will implement and then it's not effective anymore. This has been effective for years and will continue to be. When you get to selling your company, how many would think about selling their company eventually? Raise your hand. A few, okay. I would encourage you all to think about doing this because every time you sell a company, you receive several years of income at one time. If you do that over a period of time, you receive tens of years of income that you would not get if you weren't selling companies. So companies sell within a range of multiples of income, typically, or of sales. You can see on the chart in different industries that there is a range of 6.3 times, for example, in the financial industry, 11.8 times in the IT industry. If you have a positive customer experience, your valuation tends to be to the right. If you have a negative customer experience, your valuation tends to be to the left. And on average, with positive customer experience, you will receive 5.7 times the valuation of your company when you go to sell than if you do not have a positive customer experience. So how do we do this? The very first step is to identify every touch point, every touch that the customer has with your company. So we divide this into 3 different times, 3 different time periods: before the purchase, pre-purchase, during the purchase, and post-purchase. And there are lots of touch points. Keep in mind, this is every encounter your potential customer has with your brand at the beginning. So there are many. There are ads, walk-ins, word of mouth, all of the different advertisements that people will see. There's social media, UGC or user-generated content, forums, review sites, direct mail, Amazon listings, everything the prospective customer sees prior to purchase. Then, and this gets overlooked quite a bit, when we get to purchase, it's how is your add to cart experience? What is it like to view in the cart? Can the customer zoom in on the product? Can they add additional products? Is there in-cart assistance? Can they change the number or quantity of products? What is the information about delivery times and shipping, or in stock or out of stock? And what about all of the things that you do in your marketing funnel that cause people to buy more things, that increase customer value? Upsells, downsells, cross-sells, all of these things. One of the most annoying things that we do as marketers in our carts is we don't allow the customer to save everything that they select. My wife, I hear scream from the other room because she has set records for the number of tabs open on her browser, and all of them are shopping carts. And they're all full of things she might want to buy if there is a sale. And then the sale happens, the big day, Black Friday, for example. And then I hear from the other room, ah! It's like, no persistent shopping cart. All of the things that she's shopped for, gone. She doesn't buy. Good for me, bad for business, right? So be careful to think about all of the things that your customer is going through during the purchase process. And then after the purchase is complete, what emails are you sending to confirm? Are there messenger messages about shipping status? What is the actual process of letting them know that the package is on its way if it's a physical product? Or what is the unboxing? There's a little boy named Ryan that makes millions and millions of dollars a year simply doing YouTube videos of opening toys, right? And what bundle-ins, what user-generated content will you create? How will you help them consume what they purchased from you? So perform this touchpoint inventory to see if every interaction that your prospective customer, your buyer, and your product owner is going to have, and ensure that they are the same level of quality, the same image, the same branding across each of these touch points. You'll have my slides are not advancing. There we go. You will have a blank sheet when you get these slides so that you can do this yourself. If you like, simply circle the things that I have listed on the page with everything filled out, but put any other things in here, any other steps in your customer experience, and look at everything. because each of these things is an opportunity to improve how your customer interacts with your company. Then, find out what your customers are thinking. There are several ways to do this. Here are 14. You can do online surveys, have listening posts if you have physical customers. At Euro Disney, they actually have people in costumes that stand and listen to what people are saying and then take notes and let management know to improve the experience. Comment cards. What are customers thinking? Customer experience opinion reports. Usage studies for your software if you own a SaaS. Simply having a site where your customers can submit ideas is a tremendous source of improving your customer experience. Messenger apps. If you haven't mystery shopped your own product or service, you really have to do that. When we go through purchasing or selling companies, we actually have mystery shoppers. Someone we do not know but works for us goes through the entire process, and they start with the site, and they say, the page load speed was this, and the time to get a message back from customer support was that. And they give every bit of this information back to us in a big deck, and we look at all of the things that we can improve with customer experience. Focus groups, in-app surveys, social listening, lots of ways to track this. But the best of all is primary direct outreach to your customers. So we use a form like this called the FAB 50. FAB, feelings, actions, beliefs for the customers so that we get their feedback and we reach out to 50. I recommend you reach out to 50 customers and ask them what they think of the product and what their experience is, and then they will tell you, I'm nervous if it's not Amazon, right? What is this? It's a feeling. I'm not comfortable buying from sites I don't already know or that I don't already have trust with. I compare prices not to overpay. That's a belief. I believe that I have to comparison shop first. When you receive this information from 50 of your customers, you'll be able to actually, and this is call them on the phone, when you receive this information from these customers, you'll be able to see the things that you need to change and the opportunities that exist to serve them better, which means that they will be happier and then you'll reap the benefits of all of those statistics that I mentioned earlier. Once you know what your customers are feeling and the actions they're taking and the beliefs that they have, then we optimize. How do we do that? Well, there's an interesting rule called the peak end rule. So this is for our agency. So we have an agency called the Scalable Agency that helps people with marketing. On the top of the line, we put positive customer experience. On the bottom, we put negative customer experience. And then each major milestone in our journey with our customer. So typically, we are retained. The customer is excited, woohoo, right? Then we onboard them and we say, here's everything we need. We need your APIs and you need to add us to your Facebook business account and your Google account and everything else. That's a negative experience. And then we run test campaigns. That's a positive experience. But then the test starts out poorly because we're learning first. So that's a negative experience. Then we get a positive. So it's positive and negative experiences throughout. And the interesting thing is that your customers will remember the peak end rule says your customers will only remember the highest peaks and they'll forget the lows if the peaks outweigh the lows. So you want to think about how can you create high customer delight experiences in your customer journey somewhere and also end on a strong note. The low points are the pits. Now, we know that onboarding is a negative experience. So what we do to change that, to flip the pit, to make another positive experience, is we actually have the customer fly to us, and we spend a day working with all of the decision makers to create the campaign that will be the first campaign. Whatever the pits are that you identify in your customer experience, when you chart out all of the major milestones that your customers go through, find the pits and think about how can you flip them and turn them positive.